Here's a case study about how social media can be used to manage events from a long distance. I mean, we're talking a very, very long distance. The main one was Earth Day in Logan, Utah, but this company also managed events on the same day in Chicago and Buenos Aires. So, who was this group? Well, it's a group out of Buenos Aires called Relevancy, and they are a group that works with green companies to make them even greener. And they do a lot of online events through social media. They have teams in place in each location. In fact, they had teams in place in Logan, Utah, Chicago, and Buenos Aires for these particular events. And their home site, of course, was pretty easy to manage because they just could go down the street or they could send out a tweet and they knew where people were. But they actually hired teams in Logan, Utah, and Chicago to work events there that were there for just that event to promote the event and to get it up and going. And they had some really interesting things happen as a result. Again, they were promoting all three Earth Day events in three various locations. And it was quite a challenge. How do you create and manage three same-day events from one location, especially when two of them are not even in the same country or the same continent? Well, they did this all through social media. They did have very successful events in all three of these locations. In fact, the one in Utah, Logan, Utah, they claim is probably one of the more successful that they had. That was their main focus. The Chicago one also was very successful, as was the one in Buenos Aires. But the one in Logan, Utah, they told me that they had planned to just have a few booths there, but they actually had more people come in and set up booths that they had anticipated at all, and a lot more people came to the event than they had possibly anticipated. And again, they managed all three of these events from one location in Buenos Aires. So they really decided to continue to do this kind of work because it can be very effective to use teams in any part of the world as long as you have good organized teams. They did create Facebook pages for each of the particular events, and the key thing to using social media was using Twitter hashtags. So all attendees tracking the hashtag can see your tweets. And it's a very common thing. It's one of those things that, yes, I know how to do that, but if you don't use it in every single tweet, then those tweets are pretty much useless. So they had all the plans set up, and they actually did a lot of planning, and because of that, they were able to effectively make events work from thousands of miles away from South America, planning events and executing them in both South America and two locations in the United States.